Hey, so yeah, I've been working on this new scene for the next Dynamo episode, and it was supposed to just be like a 10-second throwaway thing, kind of just like, and here's this world. But I ended up taking a month modeling all of the different things for this 10-second shot, and so I just kept thinking about how stuff would operate in the world, and now I'm kind of like, well, I want to actually have a little sequence in it, and so we're going to be following the bike boys around a little bit through this world, but I've also been playing around with a bunch of photo scans. This came together, I think, I want to say like half an hour, but that is probably a dirty lie. It probably took me like 4 hours. I get to a point that's like 90% of this really quick, but then, just start going in, fine tuning, being like, no, I need to add more crabs and like just massaging everything and tweaking the colors forever. But yeah, because it's just all of these large landscape chunks that I've been photo scanning all over my neighborhood. And I really like it because I kind of get the idea of the location in my head. Then I just walk around town and I find these little bits scattered around in like people's yards and in parks and sidewalks and stuff where I go, ooh, that looks a little bit like the thing I have in my head, and I'm just able to grab it. So yeah, a lot of this looks pretty complex, but it's actually just the same couple pieces over and over, which makes it a lot easier for the computer to hold it all, in its head. Oh, and also check out Eevee's volumetrics here. Doesn't this look good? I am I am very impressed. That's gorgeous. Okay, yeah. So this is the stuff that you're going to be downloading, and honestly, I had a lot of trouble trying to figure out which ones I should include because I've got so many scans. But these are the ones I've been thinking are the most useful. I also have a bunch of like cement stairs and platforms and retaining walls and stuff that is really cool for making kind of just. I've been loving using those. I use those a lot in the renders, but I'm gonna save those for a later pack because I have some old World War One like forts around here, and I want to see if I can snag some cool stuff from there. So this is just basically flat ground type stuff, and I've tried to. I don't know. There's two versions. It's all these little rocks, and there's only so much you can optimize that because it's just pure geometry and texture and stuff. And so I have a full res version, which is this, which I recommend using if you can. And then I have an optimized version where I've just shrunk all the textures and reduced the geometry as much as I can, and an FBX version. But yeah, I've also done a lot of processing to try to make it so that you can just stick these together and the edges will all meet up nice, and you don't have to worry too much about making them all intersect. They should just play good together, using proportional editing and booleans and all of that. But yeah, that's basically it. And if you are on an older laptop, you don't need many of these. You can do a lot with just a couple. So maybe hop in here, find the ones you want, import just those ones specifically, and bring those ones into your scene so you're not, bogging it down. Not that, my computer hasn't had any trouble at all, and I don't have, the craziest computer, but I'm assuming a lot of you are working off of laptops where stuff can get bogged down, a bit easier. And that is basically it. The rest of the video is just me kind of messing around. So I've got this rock piece here. I'm just going to start duplicating it and rotating it, scaling it around, and just kind of making a little landscape out of it. Sometimes scaling can help kind of hide any repeating bits. And we're going to take all of this and start doing stuff with it. And really quick, we've got this kind of nice rocky landscape going on here. Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, I like that. And if we want, we can kind of add a little bit more detail. Here's some smaller rocks that we could stick in here somewhere, kind of like that. And maybe to add some color, I'm going to grab this red one, and just to add a little foreground, maybe a little just flat area where somebody might pitch their tent or something. Yeah, that's looking pretty interesting. Or I like these nasty seaweed boulders here. Let's make kind of a little beach scene. Just move these kind of around like this. Maybe scale these ones up. And here, let's make a cove or something, maybe. Maybe a little mossy area just here in the middle here. Yeah, that's good. And the rest we'll fill in with this sand. All right. And here, let's put some of this scraped stone here, ending in this tide pool area, maybe. Just blend that in a little bit. And suddenly we just got we got a nice little environment. Let's select all of it and just rotate it just a little bit so that we can add a plane here. And if we give this a water material, you can make an actual ocean scene, this. A lot of the pieces also have a certain directionality to them, like they're all sloping towards the shore or something like that. And so I like to keep those in line when I can. Although again, if you want to keep it from looking too copy and pasty, sometimes just scaling it up and breaking up the whole thing like that can make a big difference. Look at that. That looks pretty good. And then let's see. Let's go nuts with this one. Although it's pretty detailed, so we're gonna have a pretty visually dense landscape. We might want to break that up a tad. But first, let's stick a road going through here. Yeah. Cool. Maybe just a little bit of this red stuff. I like this red stuff. I've never had like a red ground before, and so it just kind of feels cool to me. If we want, we'd add more detail with some of these smaller rocks here. Just kind of break it up, especially near the road. And I love these. I want to scan more of these. These are my favorite. Maybe have a little pile of boulders behind one of these fences. They're kind of more ocean boulders, but maybe this place used to be. This kind of looks like a tide flat, actually. I think that's fine. Yeah, and here, if we want to make it not quite so visually dense, let's see what happens if we stick like some of this sand in there. Yeah, that keeps it from being too overwhelming. But see, look at that. I just love how that looks. And here, let's make a camera. Create a keyframe, go later, create another keyframe here, Shift E, linear extrapolation, and under camera shakeify, I'm just gonna add the tiniest little bit here. Let's go walk to the store, but have it at like point, keep it really low. And yeah. I also have this huge chunk that goes kind of from like underwater up to the sand. I took these at low tide, but that means that if you put water over this, it would actually kind of make sense. Here, let's put like the cave one back there. And we could frame it in a little bit with this one here. Let's see, how do we... Rotating them also helps. Like here, you can see the seam here. I'm just gonna rotate it a little bit. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, I can basically guarantee if you just start copying and pasting and sliding this stuff around, something's just gonna pop up. It keeps happening to me over and over. I've been having a blast the last couple days. Actually, I want to test this really quick. First, I'm gonna do Alt D so that every one of these is actually just another instance of the same piece. They're all sharing the data, which means the computer basically only has to hold it once. We can scatter them around a million times, and the computer's just like, yeah, but there's only really one of them, as opposed to Shift D, which makes just a whole new, completely separate object. So first, I'm going to try making a landscape here, just using Alt D. Take this whole chunk, start to duplicate that, and keep in mind that each one of these assets here is going to be, like right now it's like 60,000 polygons, which I'm working on optimizing. There's only so far I can optimize it though, because it's, it's a bunch of little rocks. It doesn't seem to be having much trouble with this at all. And this is way, way more than any I've ever had to use. In fact, can we take all of these and just keep duplicating them? Yeah, okay. So how many of these do we have right here? Let's turn on statistics, and we currently have 2,000 objects here, and it's running pretty darn good. It looks, a little bit repeaty because that one rock, but don't make an entire landscape out of the same little rock, mix it up a little bit. But all right, let's try that in Shift D. And if it turns out the computer has absolutely no problem with this too, I will be a little embarrassed because I've been telling people that Shift D is evil forever. Okay, so we've got all of these. Let's duplicate that. Oh, it's already chugging. Let's grab these. Okay. Okay, we grab these. And there we go. And let's see. So we're at 180 objects right now. We are at less than a tenth of where we were at, and this is still going. This is chugging. So yeah, Alt D is definitely the way to go. And I think on a final note, just one of my favorite things about this is that it introduces ideas that I wouldn't really come up with on my own. Like if I were trying to make a pond or something, I would probably just have, I'd model a ground plane, use proportional editing to pull down some of it, put some water in there, and then maybe add some shrubs around the edge because I'm going, oh, that's what I've seen ponds. That's kind of what they look like. But the idea of like this one made of like random chunks of sidewalk and stuff, I would never think of that. So it's just kind of a nice way to let the randomness and reality of real life introduce itself into your work without having to actually hand make every observation, which is a weight off my shoulders at any rate. So, anyways, hopefully some of these are fun. I've got a bunch more of these. I'm excited to optimize and get uploaded. So I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.